Hello and welcome to British Academy for another video with Excel and Python. This time it would be for reading and writing to Excel with Python. So pretty much I have called this here Excel operations. So let's simply give it a start. Import pandas as PD and from openpyxl import load workbook. And what are we going to do actually? Just wanted to put these two here, but in general we're going to read Excel files. We are going to manipulate data in the Excel files. We are going to write to Excel files, and it will be even with formulas. So I'm going to write it this way. And once we are ready, there would be also tests and there would be test coverage. So let's start. I'm already starting. So I'll just continue. Yeah. Test Excel operations part. Okay. I'll simply leave it like this. And the idea is pretty much reading from Excel. I'll write something here. Read from Excel file. It's obvious that we read from Excel file. I'm going to write. We need here to pass the file path. And here it would be, we will use df, which is something that we should never name our variables df, but in this case, okay, pd.readExcel, and here the file path comes. Yeah, great. And then I'll simply say, okay, this will be our original data, like this, and I'll print the df and return the df for later. Let's see how are we going to do it. We're going to be calling it like this. If this is the standard way to call to start. This is the entry point, and I also like it this way. And once we run, it would be something like input file path would be named input.xlsx. I'll just put it here so it works. The output file path will be named output.xlsx, and we will be reading the data, so it will be called data read Excel, and we will be having input file and then path. I'll just open a new Excel, and after opening it, pretty much I'll simply name one column quantity and one column unit price. So let's start like this. And the prices would be something like this. Okay, this is our data, this is how it looks like, this is our input, and our output is an empty file. And let's simply run this one, Python, and then Excel operations. What should happen is it just, yes, read Excel the data frame by the file path, and then printed it and then returned the data frame, but we didn't do anything with it, so yeah, doesn't matter. Let's go to the data manipulation now. What should we do? We should actually add a column saying total. Pretty much it would be calculation of this times this. Manipulate data, and we're going to pass the data frame df total equals df quantity times df unit price. So this one, this thing times this thing would be the total, and then let's print manipulated data. And print the df and return the new df, the changed df. It's not a new one. Okay, let's continue. Of course, I haven't done anything here, so this one wasn't code. After reading the data, we should manipulate the data. So it will be manipulated data, and yeah, let's manipulate the data. Manipulate data. What else? I can call this one manipulated data, so it's a difference and not the same name. Let's run it once more. And we see that there is now a total here. That's pretty good. And let's try to write this one. Write to Excel with formulas. So what should we do? df to Excel. And we should be passing the df. And what should we give here? Output file path, comma. Let me see how the function looks. So for the variable, output file path string to definition. I'm just trying to go to the references so I can see the parameters here. Not that I don't know them. Find all references, df to Excel, find all references, no result. That's a good one. To declaration. No, it doesn't allow for the pandas to Excel to find it. Anyway, my idea is that here we can say that our index would be false. I wanted to show it somewhere, but obviously Visual Studio Code is not willing to provide it. Anyway, so workbook is load workbook, and it will be loading the output file path. So this means that output file path should be given also in the function here. And once we have the workbook, we would be interested in the active worksheet. And this is how to refer to it. And now for each row in range. Okay, here we have some information. Yeah, interesting. And here we didn't have it. Control plus E. Doesn't work like the way I was expecting. Okay, for each row in range, let's say 2 len df plus 2. Okay, this thing with the rows is just so that you have an idea. The issue here is that Excel rows are with index 1 and pandas rows are with 0, so that's why we start with the 2 here. And then we would simply say cell equals worksheet dot cell, row equals row, and column equals 4. Yes, this is the fourth column, and cell value would be equal to f. I'm just writing a formula now. F equals c row times itself, c row. let's see what is going to happen. Then before the end we should save it, workbook.save, save it on the same file path, and something like a confirmation here is also good to have it. Data with formulas has been written to, and output file path. Let's see what's going to happen if we run it. Okay, nothing because we didn't call it. In order to call it, we should do it like this and then give our manipulated data as the df manipulated data and then output file path. Let's give it a try once more. Okay, data with formulas has been written in output xlsx. Just going here, output xlsx. Can I open it? Open with. I write here Excel. It doesn't look like this. Simply have to open it then. Just wondering if I write Excel and output, would it open? No. What if I write it this way? No. Let's research how to open it from here. I'm curious. Okay, so I found out that this is the way to do it. Start excel.exe and then simply give the path input, but we want to open the output. So let's see. Ta-da! We have quantity, we have unit price, we have total. Great. This is how it should be. Let's add something like a formula, actually, because formulas are what makes Excel fancy. Just a question, wasn't there already a formula here? Let's open it again and see. Okay, so 10, 20, 120, 16, 10. It's interesting. What exactly? We had quantity, we had unit price, and we had total, and somehow it overwrote itself. What exactly happened? Let's take a quick look. 0 times 0. It simply overwrote itself. Let's try here to, okay. This is column, this is row. Let's put it here and see what is going to happen. I just have to run again the code, python.exceloperations.py. And with the output, we have something interesting. So value default, so row is row and the column is, okay, the column should be column number 10, and let's see. Once more, I want to see it separately. Not the same Excel file, but running the Python code and then opening the Excel file. And I don't see anything here. So pretty much we have only had this df to Excel, and anything else we did after it most probably didn't do anything. Let's see whether I'm correct. Python Excel operations and then output. Yeah, true, no difference. Let's add something here. So df to Excel, great, and then here Here we have cell value, and I want to make sure that there is something like a formula here, which would be the VIT actually, 1.2. In Bulgaria we have a VAT, and I'm going to add it to the df here as total with VAT. This should be 0 as a placeholder. So, and 1.2 is like this. Then we have the save, then we have the printing. And let's see what is going to happen. Python. Yes, to tell with VAT we have the manipulated data. And if we open it right now, we should have a formula here. Let's see, enable editing. That's why I have it this way. And column should be 4. Okay, slowly fixing the bugs. Yeah, not bugs actually, these are like, I can call them features. Enable editing. And yes, this is how our data looks like. So we have some quantity, we have some unit price, we have some total. And this is not a formula because it was coming from the manipulation data of the data frame here. And then we have the formula coming from here that actually says row is row and column is number 4. And we use this len df plus 2 because it starts with 0, and in our case we have headers. So what else? Let's think what to do. Now it's time to do the tests. Yes. So pretty much to do the test we need import unit test. This is how we're gonna do it. Then import. We can do import OS because we would need it later. I'm pretty sure import pandas. If you ask me why do we need the OS for later, with OS we would be able to add and remove files. Additionally, Excel files, make sure that a path exists, and plenty of other useful things. And okay, from Excel operations, import. What should we import? We should import this function, write to Excel with formulas, and that function. Okay, so how do we start the code actually? We write a class, and it's gonna be test Excel operations. That's a nice name. Inheriting from unit tests.test case. And first we need to set up class. This function runs once for all tests, and it's a class method. Then we would need test read Excel. Test manipulate data. I'm just marking them, making some kind of blueprint, and then test write to Excel with formulas. Yes, this is a good one. Write to Excel with formulas. When we name it test, it means that our code is going to run through it. And then as this one running before all the tests, we should have another method running after all the tests that is called teardown class. And at the end, of course, if name equals the dunder main, then unit test dot main. If you're still with me, you can comment with your favorite character from Dunder Mifflin, if you know who these guys are. I just said Dunder and I remembered about it. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Now we have the class method here. So I'm going to name my input and output files differently. So this is going to be COS inheriting and then input file path. And it should be test input, that's a good name, .xlsx. The same would be called output file path, test output. And now we should create some fancy data frame. Data frame with our initial data. Let me see just what the names were correctly. So it was quantity and unit price. Great. So quantity, how about something like 10, 20, 30? And then unit price, something like 100, 200, 300. It's easier this way to test it. And then df.toXL COS input file path, and of course index equals false. Yep, makes sense. That's an interesting way. Okay, PD is not defined by pylens. Okay, import pandas. Yes, PD should solve it. And let's run the test so far. So how do we run it? It's like this: Python m unit test excel operation test by no model named excel operations test. True. It should be test excel operations. Okay, and we even get a test input which we can run. We can show like this: test input. Let's see. This is our input, the one that we defined here. Let's close it and let's think about the tear down, how to do it. What is important in the tear down? It's good if we start removing stuff. So always remove COS input file path. You always remove COS, the other one, output file path. And I guess here there would be a problem with the input file path because it's already created. Let's just see whether it would explode. Yeah, the system cannot find the file specified. Okay, this was different one. Why is it like this? Yeah. Okay, test output xlsx. Oh, it doesn't find this one. So let's remove it for later. Yeah, looks like 3 tests were done. So this one is done, this one is done, and this one is done. Yeah, nothing fancy actually. So just the passes saying that the tests are done. Let's actually do something with the reading part. So df read excel self input file path. Great. Self assert equal assert equal. How many rows should we having? We're having 3 rows, so the length of the data frame is 3. This is the data frame, this is the length, and comparing with 3, so another assert true. What should be the word quantity? Should be in the df, and also the word unit price. Let's give it a try. Yes, it is there. And we're also removing correctly the thing. Take a look here. If we comment down the removal, why is it this thing happening? Expected. Okay, oh, I see. Here we need a pass. That's why. If we comment down the removal, then that file that we were creating should stay with Excel. So test input, just deleting it. And I'm not going to comment down the removal of the input. So yeah, let's continue. So read from Excel, yeah, we have decent code for it. Test manipulate data. So df read Excel. Self input file path. Pretty much the same like this one. Copy paste. The second one would be yeah. Let's leave the same, that nothing is removed. And let's actually, the next thing is that this kind of total here that we mentioned should appear after running the test manipulate data. So self.assert true, pretty much this thing here, and we said that the total should be there, and of course we should call this function as well. So manipulate it df equals manipulate data df, and here it's not the df and it's the new data frame. I hope you follow me on this one. And also assert tool, I'll be checking for this one with VAT. Let's run it. Yes, and let's write to this here just to see how a problem would show up if it exists. Yeah, assert total with VAT in manipulated files is not true. Yeah, what can we say? They said it best. Let's also check whether the total was correctly generated. How should we do it? Expected total series. This should be enough. So it's PD series, pandas series, and the series would be, okay, 10 times 100 is 1000, then 20 times 200 is 4000, and then 30 times 300 is something I'm going to write down. Let's test it again. Nothing happened because it's just a variable, and this variable should be compared. So there is something called assert series equal, and that's actually something great. Manipulated df total should be equal to this body here, and check names also would be true. Okay, I'll just run it now just to see whether it would work. So 3 tests, yep, the same 3 tests, and let's change this one to 4001. This is what happens when you have different series. It says series values are different by 33%. Yeah, I'm going to change it back. And the last thing that we're going to do actually is write to Excel with formulas. So say enough for this one. I'm just checking it once more to make sure it passes. Great, it passed. Okay. So the data frame we're reading again. Read Excel. Self input file path. Great. Manipulated data frame. Manipulated it correctly. So write to Excel with formulas. Write to Excel with formulas. We are giving the manipulated data frame. And back we are giving the output file path. So I'm still not going to remove it. So the first time I see it, I'll read it. Output file path is this thing here, test output. And then we would simply say self assert true. And now OS path dot exists. Self output file path. Yeah, the test output exists. And I think this should be enough. Let's run it. Okay, it is there. Now I want to see it. It's not test input, it's gonna be test output. Enable editing, and these are the test data here. Great. I was going to do something else. Yes. Remove this one when it's not ready. Let's see. Just the last test. Great. They are not here. We have the test, we have the Excel operations, we have the input, and we have the output. And everything looks fine. So now it is time for the latest thing. It's presenting the test coverage, and it comes right now. So about the coverage, pretty much what do we do? First thing is we do coverage run, and then we can say unit test discover without the COS. That's not a command. Ta-da! We got it. It's here. Coverage. It just appeared. So let's ask for a report. Coverage report. It's going to show it here. We have statements 28. We are missing 5, which is 82% of coverage. I mean, the only thing we are not going through is actually probably these things here, because we are simply not going through this. We are testing just the functions and the import and the form. And yeah, we are missing 1 from here. I don't know which line is it. So 90% of coverage, whatever it is, probably it's okay. What is the next interesting thing is to say coverage HTML, and it says wrote HTML report to HTML coverage index HTML. Can we open it? Looks like this. I'm just thinking whether I can open it here. Reopen editor with let's see, Can I use edge? No. What I should do is probably say okay, edge, and then HTML cover slash index.html. It doesn't work this way. I'll research a bit and I'll see. And hopefully the waiting was short. Yeah, what should be done is the following, pretty much simply saying start, then HTML cover index HTML. This should be enough. And it opens with the default value, not the default value, the default browser. Okay, and if we click on the module, this is what I was looking for. It's actually really beautiful. We can do stuff. So we can say, okay, I'm interested in the 23 run, and I'm seeing that all the green highlighted rows, we have gone through them. All the red ones, we haven't gone through them. And I can also go to the operations. I can see, okay, these are the ones that we ran, and these are the ones that it actually didn't run. Yeah, so far so good. That's all. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to like, subscribe, and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.